I got a rock and roll fever and it's burning and it can only be satisfied by the Room 40 from my friends at Tsakalis in Greece. It is a Marshall in a box style pedal, to be sure. Aims to capture all the classic Marshall tones from the 60s and 70s all the way up through, I guess, the mid 80s. Super bass, super lead, JMP, 800 style tones. You got a switch right here labeled 19 and 22. Not sure what the thinking is with those two numbers, but anyway, the 19 mode, oh, of course, 1959 or 1987 style PLEXI circuits, and then 2203 and 2204 style circuits. Duh. Okay, so 19 is the PLEXI mode, and then 22 is more of the JCM style sounds, basically. JCM 800 style sounds. You get a full tone stack here with bass, middle, treble, and presence controls. And really the presence control serves to kind of tune the high end of the pedal going into your amp, depending on how bright your amp is. So whether you got a super bright, sparkly amp, or whether you got a more neutral sort of amp, you can tune it with that presence control. So it does more than like the presence control in an amp would. Really, you can kind of shut down all the high end coming out of the pedal with that presence control, or open it right up, depending on whether you're plugged into bright or dark amps. And then the bass, middle, and treble function as you would kind of expect on a typical Marshall amplifier. And kind of have them set really sort of as I almost would maybe on an 800. Other controls here, you get a master volume control, you get a volume 1 and volume 2, and that's for kind of like the treble channel and the normal channel or the bassier channel on a Marshall PLEXI style amp. So in practice, I kind of ended up doing what I usually do on a 4-hole style Marshall circuit. I turn up the treblier volume, quite a bit higher than I do the other one. I just blend in the other one to bring in fatness, really. You might do the opposite depending on if, your guitar and your guitar tones and what you go for. If you're into more of the sort of super bass sounds, you could use more of that bassier volume control. And so really these are almost like tone controls as much as they are volume controls. It's blending two different channels, one treblier and one bassier. Okay, last but not least here, they give you a Variac control that actually varies the internal voltage of the pedal and brings it for something like 22 volts all the way down to like 7 volts or somewhere in that range. But anyway, you can really like brown out the sound of the pedal and get some of that squishy compression a la Eddie Van Halen. You get an enable switch for the whole pedal, and then you get a boost switch here that you can kick in. So really it's almost like a 4-sound pedal. Anyway, enough chit chat. Let's get to some sound examples. I'm gonna play it through my PT100 clean channel set, fairly sort of Fendery neutral. I'll solo some of those clips from the track at the beginning of the video outside the mix so you can clearly hear those. And then I'm also gonna play a little bit more through the pedal and also play through my TC Ditto looper and loop apart so that I can turn the knobs and flip the switches and all that good stuff. It'll free up my hands. Okay, here we go. So just real quick, let's take a look at the two different modes on here that I used on the rhythm guitars on the track at the beginning of the video, the 19 mode and the 22 mode, PLEXI or 800 style. So for the first tone, I've got the volume 1 gain here, kind of the treble gain cranked all the way up, and the Variac's all the way up, and I got the bass channel mixed in at about halfway. It's at about noon. And so this is that PLEXI gain. Okay, and switching over to the 22 mode. Now, of course, either of those two modes you can boost using the boost. And you'll notice he gets a little bit louder and also gives you a little bit more gain. Let's go over the 22 mode, the gainier one. Thanks for watching my video on the Tsakalis Room 40 terrific sounding Marshall-in-a-Box style pedal that gets sounds anywhere from the mid-60s super bass, super lead amps through to the 70s JMPs and JCM 800s of the 80s. Gain boost, you got a Variac, that's pretty cool, so that you can vary up the voltage and brown out the sound of the pedal, and I would say it sounds pretty damn authentically Marshall-y. So if you're looking for an MIAB style pedal that is in a small pedal format and yet has a boost and it'll fit on just about any pedal board, this is a great option. Check it out further at that link in the video description below. You can click there, it'll take you to more info about the Room 40. Thanks for watching, you guys. I am Pete Thorn. Take care, over and out.